All right, so apparently there was a shooting today that killed 10 people, and it was in Buffalo, New York, and the shooter is a supposed alt-right white supremacist. And leftist ideologues are circling the wagons, and they're going to punish conservatives. They're going to punish them online, sometimes in person. That's what they do. And unfortunately, at this point in time, they have the power to do so. So, and for whatever reason, they mentioned Kyle Rittenhouse uh, along with a shooter. Someone said Kyle Rittenhouse shot three white dudes. Why even bring him up? And the riots, and someone writes, the riots were because Kenosha police shot a guy 7 times in the back, James Blake. Kyle was playing vigilante boy 5 days later. And again, if you believe this stuff and you don't take a look and examine the facts on this case, then yeah, you're not being you're wasting your time with these people. And someone wrote, because the white men committing mass shooting is a cultural issue at this point, not one framed by individualistically called a crisis for mental health. I don't even know what that's meant, but let's, oh, she, they, okay. My daughter and I were just saying neither of us could think of a single female mass shooter. We couldn't think of a black shooter either, but I think there may be one. We could list a shit ton of white male shooters though, and let's take a look at the replies here. Travel across state lines, heavily armed BLM protests. He was looking for trouble because BLM went to a rally to use a gun. Okay, and this is basically it's talking about um, Kyle Rittenhouse, because I guess Kyle Rittenhouse and this murderer are one and the same. It's called opportunism, taking advantage of calamities to push a certain agenda. I'm going to retweet that. That is very true. Gemini Martelli. And that's what they're doing. They are pushing an agenda. And this guy says many mules out because it helps divide and make the sheep feel like they know what they're talking about. Because toxic white male masculinity, let me bring up Dylan Roof too. Yeah, Dylan Roof. And one of the reasons I brought up the title Hyperbolic Whopper is it inspired me to do my first show when they were doing there's a channel that I like that's kind of a retro channel. And it dealt with the the subway shooter. His name was, now it skips me here. It'll come back to me. But he was the Long Island shooter, and he shot primarily white people. I mean, his target was white people. He actually was a Jamaican immigrant. His name was Colin Ferguson. And there were people in the comment section that said, unlike Dylan Roof, he didn't get his Whopper. And my thing is, and I said to them, well, why don't you get him a Whopper? Why don't you bring him one? And to me, it's kind of sad, but it's the way we are today, is that the hyperbolic and stupid on the left are the ones who get to make a lot of decisions, and they seem to have a lot of power. And now they have Buffalo and Tucker Carlson. A teenage gunman wearing military gear and a live stream helmet with a camera opened fire with a rifle in Buffalo, New York supermarket, and they killed about 10 people. You didn't have to tell me the Buffalo shooter was white. I figured it out for myself when you said he was taken alive. Colin Ferguson was also taken alive. That's just stupid. The Buffalo shooting is domestic terrorism. This is not mental health case. This is terrorist with an agenda and a manifesto. Call evil by its real name. Let's hear what this other people. Who turns an 18-year-old into a terrorist, though? This piece of story is boggling my mind since I spent the day with a group of 16 and 17-year-olds, let alone the 18-year-old could get a weapon but not drink. That's privilege, white privilege. Would you ask this question if the shooter was a black Muslim Latino or plentiful in America? See, that's the hyperbolic talk that I'm talking about. Social worker for equal justice. It's just nonsense, and you're wasting your time even talking to this person. These people do not want to let you have any kind of due process to really examine the facts here. And you can read through these comments yourself and examine them yourself and examine who are mass shooters and who are more likely to be mass shooters and what kind of person with a manifesto will take the lives of innocent people. And there are plenty of them out there, and there are plenty of race grifters out there, but only one side gets highlighted, if you're honest. But people that aren't honest will not tell you the truth, and they will play games with you. And as I said before, all is fair in love and war. And these individuals do not have to be fair. They do not have to be noble, and don't expect them to be. As you can see, as the events are coming down, these people are not going to be honest or good. They're going to play this to the hilt, and they're going to do it. They're going to use this to as a weapon to weaponize to weaponize, to use, to stifle free speech and also access to firearms. But I think the First Amendment is far more important, and freedom of speech and freedom of dialogue and freedom of debate is far more important than the Second Amendment. I could be wrong on that, though. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about that. But people who say things like Dylan Roof was a domestic terrorist and he was out to kill people that were pro-black or supported black causes, they're not really worth your time. And I would try not even to engage with them because they can be punitive. And unfortunately, these individuals have the power of the establishment. And you have to watch yourself. You have to be careful. But money and power are things to have, and hopefully, logical and reasonable people can gain money and power so they don't have to contend with the foolish and the hyperbolic. This is Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Share the video if you like. I might be on later on today, but I just wanted to make something rather short and sweet. Thank you for listening.